Hello, let's proceed with answering the questions about the factors of production. Let's take a look at this activity here. Michael, please read the questions for us, and I will answer each question.
Hi, Paulina. Thank you for having me today. Various options are provided as possible answers to the following questions. Choose the answers and write down a letter, A to E, next to the question number. 1. The following is not a part of the 4 production factors. Which letter do you think is correct, Paulina?
Letter A.
Why?
Demand is not part of the factors of production. Demand has to do with agricultural marketing, not the factors of production. Factors of production include land, labor, capital, and management.
2. One good thing about land is that. Which letter do you think is correct, Paulina?
Letter B.
Why?
Durable soil is permanent and immovable and cannot be shifted to another location. This helps prevent land theft, unlike movable assets like vehicles or livestock which can be stolen or moved to another location. I think that this is a good thing about land.
3. Method of increasing land productivity includes. Which letter do you think is correct, Paulina?
Letter A.
Why?
Because letter A is one of the techniques or methods of increasing land productivity. We have irrigation or improving water management, consolidation of small or uneconomical units, resting the land, and using scientific farming methods. Consolidation of small or uneconomical units involves combining small, scattered, or inefficient farming plots into a single, economically viable unit. This consolidation enables farmers to increase crop production.
Paulina, you are smart. How did you know these things?
Seriously, I didn't know that was that smart. But anyways, let's move on.
Question 2. 2.1. 4 functions of land as a production factor. Paulina, please tell us.
Provides space. Supplies raw materials. Supplies minerals. Provides food.
2.2. 3 techniques or methods of increasing land productivity.
We have irrigation or improving water management, resting the land, and using scientific farming methods.
3. The table below shows the amount of fertilizer applied and the quantity of potatoes produced on piece of land. As we can see on this table, we have the input, which is the bags of fertilizer, and the yield, which are the bags of potatoes, as our output. 3.1. Identify the economic characteristics shown by the data in the table above.
The inputs increased in increments of 5, starting from 5 bags of fertilizer up to 30 bags. When examining the yield, we observed that the output, measured in bags of potatoes, initially increased. After reaching a certain limit, the yield became constant and then began to decline. So the economic characteristic of land shown here is the law of diminishing returns.
3.2. Deduce the relationship between fertilizer input and the potato yield. With the addition of fertilizers, yield will increase to a certain limit, but a point will be reached wherein further increase in fertilizer application will not make an increase in production, but a decline.
With the addition of fertilizers, yield will increase to a certain limit, but a point will be reached where further increases in fertilizer application will not lead to higher production, but rather a decline.
3.2. Draw a line graph based on the data in Table 2.5. Above.
Correct heading. Check. Correct type of graph, which is a line graph. Check. Correct plotting and labeling of the x-axis. Check. Correct plotting and labeling of the y-axis. Check.
3.4. Define the law of diminishing returns.
If there is an increase of the input in the production process, the output will increase, but a point will be reached where further increase in the input will result in the decline of the output. For example, an increase in the input, which is the fertilizer on a small piece of land, will initially increase the output, which is the yield of the tomatoes planted on that small piece of land. The yield will increase with an increase in fertilizer until a limit is reached. After the yield has reached the limit, an increase in more units of fertilizer will not result in the proportional further increase in the yield, meaning the yield is no longer increasing even if you add more bags of fertilizer. At this point, the output yield will start to decline with further increase in input.